Well, good evening and welcome to this regular meeting for Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. Everybody can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Grigsby,
Here.
Mr. Haynes,
Here.
McCarthy, Mr. Vaca,
Here.
Mr. Wample.
Ms. McCarthy reached out. She will not be with us tonight because she's feeling a little under the weather. Finalization of the agenda.
The agenda is final as presented.
Thank you. We're ready to the superintendent's report.
Okay. Well, it's that time where we look at our annual district goals and what we will continue to focus on in most cases for the 26-27 school year. But I will refresh everybody's memory as to the 6 goals that we have in place, beginning with goal 1, which I think we all know our main priority is to maintain and continue our student achievement and to increase our levels of student achievement throughout the district. The 4 bullet points that are before you focus on our one plan, and that is through the state of Ohio. This year, that one plan was developed in conjunction with our district leadership team under Dr. Miller and Mrs. Vance's leadership. And this year, you can see in red, those are the changes that are made from last year. We are going to continue our targeted coaching and mentoring for our intervention specialists, which really leads to our goal 1 to really improve our tier 1 instruction for our students with disabilities. And again, this is all being driven by our one plan and our overall district achievement results and how we are going to address that in the future. Goal 2, there's not a lot of changes, but we are going to, as usual, continue to foster positive relationships and great working environment with our employees. This year, we are slated to negotiate with both unions. And so we really want to make sure that we are cultivating a workplace where everybody feels heard and represented and valued. And again, we will go down the path of negotiation starting pretty early on. One of the things that I know Ms. Hostetler has shared with you all has been the ongoing work of our wellness committee. And we did some really cool work this past February, and she highlighted for you earlier this year. And again, looking at all of our resources, including our professional code of conduct, and making sure that all of our staff are aware of what they're expected as a professional educator. And that doesn't just mean teachers. That means all of our staff members throughout the district and the expectations that we have for them. Goal number 3 is to effectively manage our district operations. We are going to continue to work on our substitute positions. This year, we have made great strides in our period substitution. You know, in the past, we were struggling mightily with substitutes. And this year, actually just learned today that we had a very significant cost savings in looking at building subs versus teachers taking period substitutions throughout the district. And we are hoping to continue that practice moving forward, beginning with next week, posting some of our building sub positions. And again, as always, technology is ever changing, and it's important that we maintain our technology, but also keep up with the changes, keep up with the security of all of our district systems and all of our network systems, and really keep us safe from those unauthorized threats. Goal number 4 really pertains to our treasurer's office, but really throughout the community as a whole, making sure that we maintain our financial accountability, being responsible and ultimately very transparent with our taxpayers, making sure that they understand what we are doing with their funds and ultimately checking in and making sure that they are pleased with the progress that we are making and ultimately working with our city partners, our county partners. I know we just did some significant work here in North Ridgeville with all of your help to help educate our county commissioners on the impacts of some of the decisions. And we are pleased that going from losing $1.8 million, we've now gained 1.8, or brought it back, not gained it, but we didn't lose it. So we're very pleased with the work that we have done there. Goal number 5, to build upon the confidence and support of our community. Again, I talk a lot about sharing our story and making sure that the community knows about the amazing things we do here in North Ridgeville. And that's extremely important to all of us. Not just because we like to brag, but we have an incredible staff who really takes the time to do some very amazing things with our students. And it's important that the community understands all of the offerings, the programs, and the different pathways that our kids have to be successful in the future. This year, one of the things we have talked about was reestablishing that key communicators group. That is led by Assistant Superintendent David Pritt, as well as Brooke Rochon, our communications manager. And so we are hoping to pinpoint some people in the community who will help us share our message, but also gain the confidence and ultimately the support of our community before we have to go back and ask for a renewal or to ask for additional funds down the road. So we are hopeful that we can, again, garner some great representatives throughout the community to help us share our great news. And then finally, goal number 6 has always been focused on construction. And so we are hoping to work toward the completion of our master plan. Right now, we are only focusing on one construction project. So the maintenance transportation has been taken out of the first bullet point, and we are focusing heavily on the high school. If you've not had a chance to see the progress at this point, we actually have driven by the last couple of days. They're working on the vestibule, the main entrance. And the building is really beginning to take shape. So that's pretty incredible to see. Also, as we go along with this construction project, making sure that we're bringing the community in to celebrate all the different milestones. I imagine shortly you will begin to see some steel show up on site. You see the big crane, and so we will be looking at doing some beam signings with the community. Once school starts back, there are lots of opportunities for our students to be involved in the construction project in general, through all facets of what encompasses building a successful school building. And so we're very excited for the work that both TDA and Hammond are doing to help us with, again, those opportunities throughout the community. And then finally, we are thinking now about that transition. We're 2 years away from opening a new high school, but it will take 2 years to plan for consolidation, finding bins. We're actually having some pretty creative conversations with some neighboring school districts who will be moving in similar timeframes, and talking about what it is going to take for us to transition, thinking about the key pieces from our current high school that we would like to incorporate in the new building, and making sure that we're maintaining some of the nostalgia and the history that North Ridgeville High School was built on. So we have taken a few trips and have identified a few things that we would look at in the future. And so we are really excited for that next step and really planning for that transition. So those are the 6 goals that we'll be focusing on for 26-27. If anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
It's just exciting to see us taking data and then apply it into our goals for the upcoming school year. This district has done an amazing job of that year after year, and seen the success and the improvements of their students. So awesome job to you and the rest of your team on staying on top of these things and always moving our students in the right directions. Thank you.
So President Baca, that was an amazing transition. I'm going to ask David to share a little bit about some of that data and how it translates to the growth and the celebrations of our students at the high school who have engaged in AP testing this past May. That's your break.
Why, thank you. Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me.
They're in the neighborhoods, folks. So these scores came out yesterday, so today we spent our day traveling the district and putting out I got scored a 5 on my AP exam signs. It's one of the fun things we get to do. So there's a lot of good news, and I heard Superintendent Caserio talk about the ability to brag, and that's a little bit about what I want to do today. Because the numbers you're going to see and the stats that you're going to hear and the data all supports that we are providing opportunities for our students to design their preferred future. Much more than we ever have been in the past. So I've got just a couple of quick slides. I'm not going to cover every number on all of these because it's really nice outside. I don't know if any of you just recently found that out. So a couple of changes to the AP program from our perspective. This is the first year that we have allowed students to opt into any AP course without some kind of qualification. So in previous years, we would recommend that students would have conversations with staff or teachers, and then those teachers would sign off on those students moving into those AP roles. This year, we didn't do that. We actually opened it up. We removed those barriers and said, if you're interested in an AP course, take it. A lot of times that causes apprehension because when you do that, people are worried what's going to happen to our scores. If we let more people in, are our scores going to go down? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go. So when we made that change, we actually had 25% more test takers this year than we had in previous years. So we went from offering a little over 450 tests a year. We actually had 585 tests given this year. So we saw an increase of about 25% overall as far as that goes. We now offer 20 AP courses, or we did this current school year. Put that in perspective, 5 years ago, we offered 14. So we are offering 6 more courses for students to design a preferred future. And then again, the other piece of that goes along with that is some of these courses now are on an alternating basis. So depending on numbers, when we look at these numbers, some of them are smaller. Those will drop off for next year. Different course replaces it, and it comes back the next time around. So we put a lot of work into scheduling these things so that as students come in and they're looking down the road and kind of figure out what they want to do for their 4-year plan as they enter as freshmen, as opposed to waiting to see what's going to run each year. We got 5 courses that have a 100% passage rate, which is extremely exciting for us. And then we've got a number of classes, including 2D art, Calc AB, pre-calculus research, U.S. history, modern world history, and government and politics that actually had their largest numbers ever. So in this particular slide, the one that's really interesting to me is if we look at Calc AB, Calculus AB, our second line there, we had 40 test takers there. The largest Calc AB class we had ever had prior to this year was 25 students. So we increased that one class by 15 students. And then when we look at what happened to our score, last year we averaged a 4.1. This year we average a 4.25. So despite the fact that we have almost double our number of kids there, we actually raised our overall average in that particular area. We'll go to our next slide there, if you would. When we look here, we got a number of great things to look at. Again, a number of 1s and 2s being 0 in our pre-calculus. We have 41 students there, also the largest class that we've ever had there. And what I think a lot of that is stemming from is the work that Dr. Miller has done over the last couple of years of accelerating our students at younger and younger grades. So we start our acceleration in youngest 3rd grade for some of our students who are then taking 4th grade math, 4th graders taking 5th grade. And after 5 or 6 years of doing that, we're finally starting to see these numbers build and the scores that come back off of that. So we're excited there. We're excited that our U.S. government and politics has the biggest group they've ever had, 85 kids. U.S. history, 83 kids, the biggest group that we've ever had there. Our world history, that class last year was 14. It's 53 this year. So we're seeing great numbers across the board. And Paulie, if you want to hit one more slide, if you would, please. And these are the ones that are really, I think, show the work that we've done in the fact that we have opened things up to our students and not seen a decline in scores realistically. We had 471 students this year get a 3, 4, or 5 on an AP exam. 3, 4, or 5 is generally the scores that a college requires in order to grant credit for it. To put this number in perspective, last school year, we had 469 total test takers. So we actually have 2 more kids getting a 3, 4, or 5 than actually took the test last school year. So I think that says something to us opening this up to our students. And then our 80.5% overall AP exam pass rate. So those 3, 4, and 5s account for 80.5% of those have been taken and passed. That's our second highest rate we've had. So last year was a touch higher. It was an 83.5%. But this would be the second highest score we've had, despite the fact that we have really said, if you're interested, come and take the course. Again, it allows us to have our students designing that preferred pathways. And the only way we can do that is to open up courses for them that interest them. So a lot of good stuff here, a lot of opportunity to brag. And if anybody is watching out there and did not get their, I got a 5 on the AP side, if they want to contact the district, we'll find a way to get it to them. So any question that I can answer for you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. All right, hearing of the public, there's nobody in attendance this evening, so we always get through that. Announcements. Piggybacking what was said already at the podium, I want to thank the community and everybody that came out, and attended commissioner meetings to head off the loss of another almost $2 million to our district. But I also want to point out, that's just the start of our work. There's now 2 entities that have the ability to just take money from us without us even being at the table. The state of Ohio and Columbus. And really the onus falls on the state because the state is the largest taxing entity, obviously, and they have the ability to fund schools. They've ignored the Ohio Supreme Court for decades. And now they're running scared because of this initiative to do away with property tax. We need to be at the table. Municipalities need to be at the table. And we have about a year because this initiative isn't stopping. These signatures will carry over and eventually they'll have enough signatures to put this on the ballot. And then the state will decide collectively, regardless of what local taxpayers have already approved, whether or not to abolish property tax. It will be detrimental to municipalities and every school district in the state of Ohio because they are our local communities are our largest funding sources. We get a little over $800 from the state to put that in perspective of why local funds are so desperately needed. So the work today has to be hitting our state legislators hard, hitting Columbus hard, and getting them to fix this funding issue once and for all so we can give the taxpayers a break locally. We recognize the impact. We recognize the property evaluations when they go up. We recognize all of that. But unfortunately, our funding source for our school districts comes from local residents. The state has to fix the problem. And that, it doesn't mean giving county commissioners the ability just to arbitrarily take money from us. So I thank wholeheartedly the 2 commissioners that voted to repeal that and to give the money back to the Rowan County school districts. I appreciate their courage. It's a shame one of them opted not to do that, but there's always an opportunity in November to take a look at that situation. So thank you to the 2, but really we can't let up. We have to go after the state. They have to fix the problem. So everybody that's writing letters, everybody that's sending emails, everybody that is showing up in the meetings, let's hit Columbus. Let's hit our local reps. Let's see who comes out in November and then start talking to those people immediately after the election. Let's not wait till January when they're placed in their seats and take their oath of office. Hit them hard, continue to hit them because all of our districts are at risk. So again, thank you to all of you that showed up. Thank you to the community members that showed up. But we got to keep foot to the pedal and just keep hammering them until they fix this problem once and for all. Thank you. Just a little something.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Consent agenda, education report, Mr. Rumpelman.
We have several agreements for consideration on the education report. These include, first, we have the renewal of the agreement with New Story Schools for educational services for students with special needs who require a highly structured program during the 2026 to 2027 school year. Next is the renewal of the agreement with the Trust the Journey Academy for educational services for students with special needs in grades K through 8 who require a highly structured program for the 26 to 27 school year. We also have the Lorain County Interagency Agreement, which supports interagency collaboration and coordinated transition services for children from birth to kindergarten enrollment for the 26-27 school year. Also for consideration is the renewal of the agreement with the Murray Ridge Center, Lorain County Board of Developmental Disabilities for services provided to preschool age students with disabilities during the 26-27 school year. Next is the renewal of the distance education agreement with the East Central Ohio Educational Service Center for American Sign Language Instruction during the 26-27 school year. And lastly, we have the North Ridgeville City School Board of Education district goals for the 26-27 school year. This is the first reading for these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will take place at the July 21 regular meeting.
Thank you. Communication report, Mr. Grigsby.
Thank you, sir. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following gifts of appreciation. These are all from the RHD PTO. $1,715 for staff appreciation activities, $844 for state testing snacks, $188 for nurse and secretary grants, $91 for the Guard Memorial, $1,576 for PBIS incentives and prizes, $1,225 for field day supplies and activities, $1,259 for transportation for student reward trips, and $525 for the class party expenses. And we thank our community for the tremendous support for our students and students.
Thank you, Mr. Ruby. Out of buildings and grounds, we have an agreement between Tran USA Inc. and the North Ridgeville City Schools for Liberty Elementary Building Automation System Controls Upgrade. Tran USA will provide and install a new building automation system, integrate existing HVAC equipment into the district-wide management system, and provide programming, graphics, operator training, and a 1-year warranty to improve system performance, efficiency, and reliability. Next, we recommend the approval of the district's insurance policy for the 26-27 school year through Ohio School Plan with Love Insurance Agency. This is the first reading, with the second reading being at our July 21st regular meeting. Human Resources Report, Mr. Haynes.
Thank you, Mr. Backer. We have a few items in the Human Resources Report. 1 NREA supplemental contract, 4 non-NREA supplemental contracts, 2 unpaid volunteer recognitions. This is the first reading of these. The second reading and for consideration or approval will be on the July 21st regular meeting. This concludes as part of the Human Resources Report.
Mr. Haynes, you did such an amazing job. We got another portion for you.
Okay. We have several items to consider on the Human Resources Report, or 2. 2 administrative staff resignations, 1 supplemental contract resignation, 1 administrative staff contract, 1 administrative consulting contract. That move to approve the human resources items in 1 reading.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Haynes, second by Mr. Grigsby. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca,
Yes.
Mr. Waffle.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. It is my absolute pleasure and consider myself very fortunate to work alongside Mrs. Stacy Rocco as our new Director of Curriculum for the district. So Stacy is a familiar face. She has been working in the North Ridgeville City Schools since 2021 in our curriculum department. She has taken on a number of large responsibilities with early literacy. She has also helped immensely with our MTSS, our multi-tier system of supports programs in all of our schools. She has ran our resident educator group, which is working with our very new young teachers and getting them from that RESA license to their teaching license. She has taken on our English language learners and has just done everything asked of her and is very, very deserving of this new position. So I could go on all night about the wonderful things about Stacy and consider ourselves, very, very fortunate to have her. I do want to highlight 3 things that I do think are important and just are admirable, honestly, working alongside her. 1 is her passion for providing high quality instruction to all students. It comes across in everything that she does. You just see it every day. 2, it's always student centered. She makes every decision based on what's best for kids. It's how I've always been taught, and it's just something that our team feels very strongly about. And number 3, she has worked alongside a tremendous curriculum director. So she has been working alongside Dr. Miller, for the past several years. And this will allow us to continue the great momentum in the work that we have done. So I could go on, but I think those are 3 great reasons why we're very fortunate to have her as our next curriculum director. So congratulations. Yeah.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to serve in this new role and continue the work that we've done here in North Ridgeville. I'm incredibly proud to be in this school district. I love working here. I want to make sure that we continue everything that we've accomplished and do that by continuing to collaborate with the staff, the students, and all of you to do what's best for our students. And I wanted to say thank you to my family for coming out and supporting me. And then my husband, who I've been driving here for 5 years, questioned how I got here today by directions. So that was luckily on the way here. Yes. And I have to thank Dr. Miller. This I'm thinking more nervous about thanking her than anything else. But thank you to her and all that she's done for this district. I know that you don't always see the hard work that she puts in, but what she has done is going to allow me to step into this new role and take the reins and hit the ground running. She is just a fantastic person who has turned into a wonderful, fantastic friend, and she's a wonderful human being. And Orange is very lucky to have you. And thank you. And thank you all of you. So thanks.
Well, congratulations. On a regular basis at the podium, so amazing contribution to our district ever since you came on board. So we're very glad to have you. Dr. Miller will say it again next meeting, but disappointed we're losing you. You've done an amazing job for us. A lot of our successes have been because of your hard work in collaboration with everybody else sitting next to you. So you're going to be missed, but it gets you closer to home and more family time, which is a priority to all of us. So nice job.
Appreciate it.
All right. Move this meeting. I have a motion? Motion. Moved by Mr. Wampelman or Mr. Grigsby. Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Rumpelman.
Here, yes.
Mr. Grigsby. Mr. Mead. Mr. Baca.
Yes, we're good. See, we're not an upside board. We don't have.